Hello and welcome to the Lost Pines Workshop. I'm JC Jensen. So this is Build a Rocking Chair, episode 15. We're going to bore out the holes for our back braces. So as you can see here, I have a template. This is Hal's uh, BBHT template that he makes himself. He's got a CNC machine and he's made these out. So I've got 3 sets of holes here, right? This is for a large, a medium, and a small chair. For where the holes are located in our seat. I'll show you how to set this up, and then also preparing our router for this operation. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're looking down at the seat and the template, and from what you can see down inside here, inside of this hole, this is the center hole of the template. What I have done is we've got the seam for the center of our seat. It's actually running underneath this line here. I drew a center line across the template from end to end this way, which I line up with the seam, the center seam of the seat. All right. Then I did the same thing, 90 degrees, and I drew a line across the template to give me dead center of this hole. On the seat itself, you can't see because it's covered up by the template, but 1.25 inches from the back edge of the seat up locates this point. We may have a little parallax here in the camera, but so I've got the center seam of the seat marked, and then my 1.25 inches marked, and of course that I drew that line all the way across, which puts X marks a spot to locate the exact center of the center hole of the template. So with those lines drawn on the template, I'm able to adequately line up, right? Match up my outside markings with my inside markings. I extended the horizontal line past this hole on your left and past this hole on the right. And these lines obviously correspond to the 1.25 inch line down here in the bottom. So I have a perfect horizontal. I know that my template is square to the seat. And then vertically, I'm in line with the center of the center seam of the seat. Right on? And then from there, I simply clamped, for now, these two, the two outside corners at the seat. There's too much overhang on the template to get more than 2 clamps. And I positioned them far enough into the corners that I think I'll be able to route all of the holes. We got 7 of them without having to move the clamps. But if I do, I do, and we'll get to that. So I placed a comment in the intro now that if you're buying house plans and following house plans, you're going to want to purchase this template. It's the BBHT, and it's available on the same website as the plans. When you go to the website, you'll see the plans and then another button to purchase this template. Highly recommend that you do that. Okay, so next we need to prepare our router. So we're going to be utilizing this template and a 1/2 inch bushing in our router base plate and a 1/4 inch, just straight 1/4 inch straight bit. Okie doke. Now I wanted to show you, take a minute and show you something you may or may not know about setting up the router base. So I've got my plunge base attached to the router now, and I wanted to show you this centering guide. This is a brass centering guide that allows us to get the bushing dead center parallel to the shaft, right? So I install the bushing into the base plate, lay it on top of my router base, and just start the screws. All right. I then Make sure I've got my 1/4 inch collet on. This is a 1/4 inch, has a 1/4 inch shaft on it. Plunge the router down until the pin drops in. I'll just bottom it out. Sent the centering pin into the collet, tighten up the collet, and then raise, I'll just do that, raise the base plate till it engages the taper on the centering guide. Once that's engaged and everything's locked there, I then go in and tighten up these 3 screws to lock this base plate in place where the bushing stays dead center of the shaft. Groovy. From there, we just pop that out, drop in our router bit, and we're good to go. Okay, so now for my router bit selection. This is a 1/4 inch straight cut bit, 2 flutes, right? It's just a straight cutting router bit, plain Joinery. What I have chosen, however, is a 1/4 inch down cut spiral bit. And the reason I chose that, it cuts much cleaner and you're liable to have less tear out on the surface. So it ejects out the chips out away from the router, but primarily it won't damage the surface, where sometimes plunging in a straight bit like this, you can get a little tear out on the surface. The other difference is the length. Using with this particular router that I have, which is, well, you can see it's a Bosch. The Bosch 1/4 inch router bit is too short. When I bottomed this out, I was only able to bite, 3/16 of an inch of the shank, and I still wasn't able to get the depth that I needed. So it was too short. So this bit is 2.5 inches long. So 1/4 inch down cut spiral is 2.5 inches long. Gives you everything that you need to be able to plunge and cut these holes. Okay, so setting the depth. To set the depth, standard plunge router operation, I need the hole in the seat to be 7/8 of an inch deep. So I took the template, simply laid it next to the bushing, took my measuring device, and set the blade depth on top of the template to exactly 7/8. All right, and then on the other side, I set my stop so that every time I plunge down, it stops dead on that 7/8 inch depth. Groovy? All right, let's move on. All right, so now with everything set up, I'm comfortable with my my line layout and how my template's going to go. My plunge router and bit are all set. So now we just need to take one final time and realign our template to our guidelines, being as accurate as possible, of course. Okay, I'll hold that in place and take my 2 clamps. I'm going to clamp it as far out as I can, and we'll just wait and see if the router is going to hit it or not. If it does, we'll just reposition when we get to those outside holes. Reposition clamps. All right, snug those up and double check my lines. All right, I'm satisfied with that location, so I'm going to tighten these down really well. All right, so next I'm going to slide this over and actually clamp the seat to my workbench so I have no movement. All right, so now I have the seat clamped to my workbench, the template clamped to the seat, and I am ready to begin my operation. One thing I'll note is the method that I am going to use to actually cut these out. So remember, we're only dealing with a 1/4 inch shank. And this is cherry, it's a hardwood. We don't want to break this bit off. So what I'm going to do, because I got the guide bushing here, and I'm working inside of the template, I'm going to start here in the corner, and I'm going to plunge this straight down all the way to the bottom, raise it up, move over here, same thing, all the way down, next corner, all the way down, next corner, all the way down, and then in the middle, I'm going to go straight down. That's going to take out a majority of the meat before I start trying to hog this out. Another method, if you prefer, the old traditional method, is just do the whole thing in increments of 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch plunge at a time. But given the bit that I've chosen, this should bore a hole straight to the bottom easily with minimal effort, and it's probably going to be more efficient. I can hog all this out. Obviously, I'm not going to go to the bottom and then try to move. That's a guaranteed way to shear off that bit. So I'm just going to go straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, clean out the hole, move on to the next one. Groovy? All right. Next thing, when we cut the 1/2-inch rabbets for our seat joints, remember I'm using a variable speed router, and I slowed that speed down to about 8,000 RPM to cut those rabbets because that was an 1.5-inch diameter bit. But I cranked the speed up some. I'm going to be running approximately somewhere between 16 and 18,000 on this 1/4-inch bit. So variable speed router is kind of a must. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I've cut the center, this pair of holes and this pair of holes, and the clamp that was here was in the way to be able to cut this hole. So what I did prior to removing this clamp was place another one here. So I've got these two, and I've got them pretty tight. It's pulling this template up just a smidge, but the weight of the router will hold it down. Most important, it's not going to move. So ensure that you have at all times a minimum of 2 clamps. I don't have a deep enough clamp to reach in here. So I'm going to go with this. I'm just going to go real gentle with my movements. The one disadvantage to this downcut spiral is it leaves a lot of the debris down in this hole. So I cut out as much as I can, right, until it feels like I'm done. Remove it, clean it out, and then make a second pass. And I had to do that on every hole. So, but it's coming out wonderfully. There's no burn, and the holes look really good. All right, so now I've got this one done. I've got to move over to do this corner. So I'm going to leave these in place, come back over here. I've blown everything off. Everything is clear of debris. I'm going to put this original clamp back in its place. Over here. Tighten it down thoroughly. Grab this one. I'm getting as far a reach as I can. And I've cranked that one down. So now I'm going to remove these two so that I can cut this last hole. Verify my alignment. Everything looks really good. So here we go. Okay, so this operation is complete. Holes are right on, I believe, where they should be. At least they are in accordance with the template, so we should be in good shape. Okay, so hole dimensions when finished. Our target is 0.45 inches across by 5.85 front to back, so width and length, right? Between your router, your bits, your guide, and the template, there's a lot of variables there, and obviously they're not all created equal. So yours may be different than that. Mine are. Each of my holes happen to be a 10 thousandths of an inch larger, and that's okay. I'm simply going to annotate that on here, the dimensions of my holes, length, width, and of course I know my depth is right. I double checked it. All right, so they're all 7/8 of an inch deep, but I'm 10 thousandths over. I'm going to write that on here so that I remember when we dimension the back braces themselves to go into the hole that I cut them the right size. Right on? Okay. So that wraps us up. If you like this video, you hit that like button. We'll see you down the road.